Hello and a diva-tastic Monday morning to you, my fuzzy wuzzy unicorn babies of teddy bear joy. Coffee cheers to you. It's me, Hallie, with a very quick weekly reading book review because I got to get to the chiropractor before they close this morning. So coffee cheers to you. Let us talk about the many stories that I partook of. Doubt that's proper English, while I was incapacitated for 3 days. So hopefully my back can work again this morning. So here we go. The first book I finished, we were in the midst of last week, Ray Bradbury's Dandelion Wine. Didn't like it. Again, as many short story collections that are tried to be put as novels, no, that's what it is. It was too many short stories published in magazines, tried to be crammed into a novel. Didn't like it. It was about a kid, summer, and I just wanted more fantasy from Mr. Bradbury, and it was just kind of sentimental nonsense, and I'm gonna have to sneeze possibly, so maybe we'll start re-recording. This is Lucy Foley's The Guest List. Many of you have probably already read it. There was a little content in the beginning, and then otherwise it was fine. It is a remote Irish island, a elite wedding party. We don't know who dies until later, but as it builds and builds, you see everyone has a intent for this person to end up dead. So it had one twist that surprised me, but you know, sometimes we storytellers are a little trained to not be surprised. But it was entertaining enough. Not the best book I've ever read, but it was entertaining and lots of perspective. So if you get confused with chapters jumping per character, don't read it, but it was okay. All right. Sorry, we're just in a mood today, guys. This one was wonderful. My friend Tracy gave this one to me. This is the British edition of the AMBERGLOW Candy Store by Hiyoko Kurisu. Fun, gorgeous, stunning cover art. I love the orange and blues there. Complementary colors, gotta love them. So thank you, Tracy, for this. This was delightfully large print, easy to read. Again, it's a candy store past a shrine and little short stories, but somehow they don't bug me because they all were actually meant to work together, of different characters who need something in their lives. They find their way to this candy store where a guy that's half fox, half human kind of spirit animal fox runs a candy store and gives them what they need. And of course, like Into the Woods has taught us, careful what you wish for. It won't turn out in the same way, but it had happy endings, I promise. Just not the way the characters thought. And I also love that at the end of it, we kind of got his story of how he started the candy store as well. So if you like Japanese fiction and translation, highly recommend for some pure candy joy and tiny life stories, AMBERGLOW Candy Store. Also, it was interesting because they were both adults, middle schoolers, high schoolers. It was all age range. And not just depressed grown-ups that we got to give candy to. So lovely. Okay, I did finish Merchant of Venice and tag some promising quotes for our next Shakespeare quote illustration. So this was the first Shakespeare read of 2026. We are now more than halfway through the canon. Thank you very much, since last January. And then I read, I peeked this in my stories earlier. This is Meet Me Under the Lights by Cassie Miller. This comes out in March. Is wonderful. So it's baseball romance, but not explicit like I hear a lot of the adult rom-com, sports rom-coms in adult or whatever. This is YA. There's a little bit of cussing and there's kissing. That's it. So hooray. Loved it so much. Also, I'm so impressed, and I do need to ask Cassie, this is 378 pages, which for a contemporary is wonderful. We do have dueling perspectives of the guy and the gal. And fun fact, it's also, it just makes sense now why she sent me an early copy. Not just because we're friends on Instagram, you know, Insta friends. Yeah, that what we call it, virtual friends. I don't know. Anyway, it's also a loose Romeo and Juliet retelling within a production of Romeo and Juliet. She works the lighting booth, and he's a baseball player from a rival team. She's the daughter of the coach, but is also really good at baseball. And so this scene on the cover never actually happens. We don't have this Ken Barbie moment of guys teaching girls how to play sports, but I understand for context and selling the book that we put that on there. But yeah, they're both already good at sports. So yay girl power, yay girls in sports, yay theater and family feuds. And even though Ben was more Mercutio, Doesn't matter. He was not Benvolio, but we loved it. So all sorts of family dynamics, friendship dynamics, dueling family, small town history, baseball, and theater, and it was just terrific. So there you go. Terrific. I think that's a pun, maybe. At least for T-ball, right? It's close to baseball. Anyway, meet me under the lights, Cassie. I loved it. Thank you for my early signed copy. Yeah, so cute. So hooray! Look for that in March, out from Viking Penguin Teen. Okay. Other stories. My friend Susan lent me this vintage DVD because somehow it came up that I'm a French film nerd and she loves this one. This is DIVA from 1981. It's French, so there are a lot of girl parts. Otherwise, it was great. And again, sort of depressing, but actually ended well for a French film, so that was fun. It's a whole prostitution ring brought down. Spoiler. But anyway, there's an opera singer who doesn't want to record and 2 cassette tapes that the bad guys are after, and it's a whole thing and intertwined really well. And j'adore Paris. So there we go. Diva. And then I think I showed you this was yesterday because I skipped church because I couldn't sit in those pews. This is The Artist from 2011, I believe. My heart. So there is a little bit of depression and suicide ideation, but so good. So it's very Gene Kelly coded, like Singing in the Rain, for a silent film star, also kind of Sunset Boulevard, but so good, so good. If you haven't seen it, you must see it. It's in black and white. The soundtrack is score, whatever, unbelievable. I just want to put it on and write a book to match the music. I've got lots of grand ideas, Sky. Anyway, and yeah, there's a dog. So I love this actress. She's actually Portuguese, I believe. Or Brazilian, she might be Portuguese, but very much Anna Friel from Pushing Daisies, her face, but silent film actress, so big brown eye. Well, I assume they're brown, it's in black and white. Anyway, it's just amazing. If you haven't seen it or haven't seen it in a while, I highly recommend watching it again. It's terrific, terrific. And also, you know how much I love Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, and Gene Kelly, Singing in the Rain, all the things. So it's just an ode to Hollywood. And I love it. If that's the future, you can keep it. All right. Currently reading Murakami's After Dark. Got this in my local used bookstore with all of my many dollars worth of credits. And again, I picked up some other Murakami's there, but look how easy to read and wide those margins are. So made it halfway through that one last night. It is a district of Tokyo. Again, somehow a prostitution ring and a love hotel and a girl that's hanging out at Denny's reading a book. And so it's like strangers intermingling. And there was a better Japanese fiction book I liked called Goodnight Tokyo that I read last year. But, you know, Murakami and easy to read. So really enjoying that. I believe it was last year I read his Novelist as Vocation, which highly recommend no matter your career. It was a great read. So making my way through some of his fiction. Interesting. Okay, also currently reading my next Shakespeare, The Merry Wives of Windsor. I started it, then I picked up fiction. It wasn't a play. And then after that one, alphabetically, will be one of my faves. I know there's some slang terms going around that theater people talk about. Midsummer Night's Dream, but it's just one of my favorites. It's kooky, the plots are twisted, there's character misidentification, etc. And there's fairies, and there's silly, there's a play within a play, and I like it. So also highly recommend Julie Taymor's filmed version of the stage production she put on that my library has. So good. Don't be deceived by the cover. It's nothing like the stupid cover they put on it. Anyway, but this is a lovely cover. Another Kaduko craft one that I collected either in high school or college. Love it. Okay. And then I will be reading, sorry, this video is going longer than I expected. This is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers Book Club next week. This is our read, so I will get to read this one. I really doubt it's gonna be a thinker, but I've heard it's very funny. Vera Wong is very lovable by the time you get into it, and so I look forward to reading that and making up some questions for discussion for next week's book club. And then I will probably read Louder Than Hunger, finally, by John Shu. He was just interviewed by the lovely Shannon Balloon on the Middle Grade Matters podcast, and this is, he's very prolific, but this is a thick book, but as you can see, there's a lot of white space because it is written in verse. So I'm so excited about that one. For reasons. So highly recommend that podcast. Can't wait to read this one, John. Thank you for sharing this with the world. I know it's meant a lot to a lot of people. And that's what I got. So fake coffee cheers to you because, yes, my husband drank all my coffee. That's what happens when both of you work from home, I guess. And we'll talk at you later. Okay, let me know what stories you're reading, loving, enjoying. Yeah, we'll talk more soon. Bye.